So as the Washington Times had to actually report, 116, not 160, not that old. He's old though. Or she's old. 116-year-old person survived the Modelo virus, guys. And this is covered by the Washington Times. She said she didn't even realize she had it. Now, that makes me feel good, but if you're a doom and gloomer, you're like, oh, no, bury this story. Let's look at it. Let's take a look. A 116-year-old French nun who is believed to be the world's second oldest person has survived COVID-19 and is looking forward to celebrating her 117th birthday on Thursday. The gerontology research group, which validates details of people thought to be 110 and older, lists French woman Lucille Randon, Sister Andre's birth name, as the second oldest known living person in the world. French media report that Sister Andre tested positive for the virus in mid-January in the southern French town of Toulon. But just 3 weeks later, the nun is considered recovered. It's what happened when you got God on your side. Says, I didn't even realize I had it. Sister Andre, who was blind and uses a wheelchair, did not even worry that she received her diagnosis. She didn't ask me about her health, but about her habits. The David Tavella, the communications major for the care home where the nun told the newspaper, for example, she wanted to know if meal or bedtime schedules would change. She's worried about the right shit. She showed no fear for the disease. On the other hand, she was very concerned about the other residents. She wasn't even tripping. Y'all tell us we supposed to support, we got to protect grandma. Grandma gets it. Oh, the oldest grandma, literally like the oldest grandma in the world, said, I didn't even know I got it. See, and I talked about this with older people with this virus. Y'all do understand that it's not a death sentence for them either. Yes, you're more likely, and it is impacting when it comes to older people in this virus. It's impacting them more than people like myself, aged myself. That is not an opinion. We know that. But it's not a death sentence for them either. It is still relatively high in the event that an old person gets it and survives it. Like their survival rate, it ain't like it's like they're guaranteed to die, or like it's like a 99% chance that they're going to die if they catch it. No. Some of you guys know old people. We talk about it all the time. People coming to tell you, my mother's 80 years old. She got it. She survived. Didn't know she had. It's not a death sentence. So you have to sit here and wonder, why are they treating this like this is doom and gloom? It's weird, man, because it's not. This should be great news, but it's not if you are a doom and gloomer. Now, if you're a doom and gloomer, this is absolutely terrible news for you. You hate this kind of news. Because what it does is it shows that the virus isn't nearly as impactful as you say that it is in terms of it killing people off. This is why they love to say, well, when you say, look, man, it can, it's a virus. It may, just like other viruses, it may kill the wrong person in the event that they get it. But it's not nearly as dangerous as what you pretend. Well, y'all aren't taking this serious, because the only way to take this serious is to want lockdowns, is to want people to have to wear diapers on their face for an indefinite amount of time. That's the only way to care. Otherwise, you just don't care. It's simply not as dangerous as what they pretended that it was. It's not. And then they talk about, that's why they had to move the post to long-term effects, right? We don't know the long-term effects. Motherfuckers be competing in fucking professional sports after having got it, and these fools talking about long-term effects because some obscure outlier had a scarred lung or something, which can happen if you have colds or flus as well. That happens, right? Doesn't mean that it's significant in terms of that it'll happen to most people. They have to keep moving the post. It's simply not as dangerous. This is a feel-good story. You should look at that story and you should say, wow, it's not a death sentence even for old people. But that's not how these deranged people look at it. What they do is say, well, that's the outlier. What they look at it and say, no, you still have to wear a diaper on your face for an indefinite amount of time. You still have to shut down. You can't participate in the economy in a certain way if you are, in a certain industry or something like that, because you don't care about grandma. Dude, it's all bull crap. This is why they hate good news. It should have been great news when the antibody test started to roll out. When basically every study from around the world showed that the virus, when it came to the survival rate, was in it was in the 99 percentile for most demographics. You're talking about in the .0s when it came to the actual infected fatality rate. John Ioannidis, there's a freaking WHO. It's on the WHO bulletin. Matter of fact, let's pull up the receipts. So, because I don't want YouTube to be like, oh, well, you're spreading medical misinformation. No, I'm not. I'm about to go straight to the WHO and one of the most respected epidemiologists and what he had to say about the situation, which just got buried by Google, by the way, which is hilarious. Hold on, let me, because I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it, and you can't stop me. You can go right to the WHO. John Ioannidis of Stanford University. This is a peer-reviewed study, and it showed the results in the 61 studies, which is a compiling of 61 studies, 8 preliminary national estimates. So prevalence estimates range from 0.02% to 53.40%. Infected fatality rates range from 0.00% to 1.63%. Corrected values from 0.0 to 1.54 across 51 locations. The median COVID-19 infected fatality rate was 0.27. Corrected 0.23. The rate was 0.09 in locations with COVID-19 population mortality rates less than the global average, 0.2% in locations with 118 to 500 COVID-19 deaths. In people below the age of 70 years, infected fatality rates range from 0.0 to 0.31% with crude and corrected medians of 0.05%. So the IFR, according to John Ioannidis, right from the WHO, that's who they say we're supposed to listen to. Bulletin of the World Health Organization. It says that for people less than 70 years, you're talking about a corrected median of 0.05 when it comes to the IFR. Maybe the virus isn't as bad as what they initially anticipated. And maybe they're just kicking the can down the road because they got caught with egg on their face.